Let's talk a little bit about City again in Haaland, because I'm not entirely certain what to make of it, because there's so many discussion points concerning him fitting into the system and whether he's made City a better team or not. They've lost more games this year in the league than they did in the entirety of last season. They've, I don't know. I really don't know what to make of it, because we can't say how many goals they're going to score by the end of the season. We have no idea. They could get more, they could get less. But your take first, Olivier.
For me, I truly believe that Manchester City is a better side last year than it is this year, for the simple reason as last year they were playing a better football. It doesn't mean that they scored more goals.
They still were top scorers in the league.
Of course, they will, but the game, it was better to watch. As in, now with Haaland, it's a bigger threat in terms of goal, but in terms of playing, you know, you're lacking that little thing. They struggle a bit to find him at times. But he does make the run and he does want to work hard. So, but I still think they still haven't understood his game yet. I mean, when it's going to click, and it's going to hurt. It took a bit of time at Dortmund to settle into his position, but once he did, he showed the whole world who he was.
Yeah.
And I think we are still waiting in England to see how good he can be. We know he's a good player. Can he fit in the system? That's something we're waiting to see.
I don't know what to make of it. I mean, the amount of goals he's got is one thing, but they're not top of the table at the same time,
yeah.
Jamo.
Well, just look at the history. The last Golden Boot winner to win the Premier League, single Golden Boot winner to win the Premier League was Robin van Persie or Van Nys. I think it was Robin van Persie, Manchester United. So we're going back years ago. Having the best striker is nowhere near a guarantee. If anything, it's prohibitive towards winning the Premier League. What I would say is, and it's interesting you bring up Dortmund, because last season in Dortmund he scored, I think, 4 or 5 times away from home. The vast majority of his goals in Bundesliga were at home. That was replicating itself pre-World Cup here. You know, most of his goals were at home, hardly any away. I think his last couple of goals come away from home. So they're kind of addressing that issue. And I think what you end up with when your first 4 home games are hat-tricks, or whatever ridiculous stat it was when he came here, you go, well, give it to him, he'll score. And in 4 games is like maybe 2 months worth of football. So all of a sudden you are in the routine of giving the guy who scores the goals the ball to score more goals. And it affects everybody. And I think it's taken a while to adjust to that. Like today, he gets an assist with Bernardo Silva. I don't think he didn't have a shot on target, that's for sure. I'm not even sure if he had a proper shot. The header in the first half, which he's put wide. But the point being is, once you stop being reliant on your top goal scorer and everyone else starts chipping in, well, then your team improves. And I think that's what we're seeing. And I've been to a lot of games recently, and I've seen a frustrated figure in Haaland at times. But he has to learn as well, because he is still improving, that he isn't going to be the only person who wins games of football. Yeah. The thing that scares me about him more than anything, and I'm not sure whether they're going to deal with it this season or not, is this guy doesn't score from outside the box. 1 goal this season against Wolves. His last one before that was over a year ago against Bayern Munich. He gets the ball outside the box, he won't shoot. Now, this is a guy who you would imagine has got a ferocious shot, but for some reason will not shoot from outside the box. Again, when I talked about predictability at half-time, the ball's going to go wide and it's going to get crossed in because this guy won't shoot. Yeah. You teach him how to shoot from outside the box, then all of a sudden defences are going, hang on a minute, what have we got here? And instead of having 27 goals after 23, 24 games, he might be on, as ridiculous as it sounds, maybe 37. Yep. He'll become a completely different monster. Yeah. So he's learning, and like you're saying, the team are learning as well. Yep. First of all, to be dependent on him, and now I think to be less dependent on him. They could still win the league. Not comfortably necessarily, but they could still win the league, because I think you've got an erudite group of players and a manager who will work a way to make the best out of it. I think somewhere they're lost in transition, whether it's pre-World Cup preparation, post-World Cup headache, hangover. But I think by the end of the season, we're going to see a very different way of Man City playing.